Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into this video. If you're watching this video, then you're probably looking for a camera that has clean HDMI, 1080p and changeable lenses. Well, for the past sort of 3 or 4 weeks, so have I. I've moved the repairs side of the business into the back of the garage, which is why the lighting is not great. But it gives me some functionality where I can have an overhead camera so that I can film some of the repairs that I do to kind of expand that side of YouTube. But I really wanted a good DSLR that didn't cost an arm and a leg, that could film for shots like this. Now I was looking at this Sony ZV-E10, but that was about £600. I then actually went and bought a Sony A6000, which is here. This was £300, and I thought this would be the camera, this would be the one for me. It has clean HDMI, it has, on paper, all the features that I am looking for. The only issue with it, its autofocus is so sensitive that if you make any movements, it's constantly trying to focus in on your face, and even when you turn it off, it loses some of that crispness, and you can never get it back. So I then bought a few other cameras, and eventually I found a camera that does everything that I need. It has clean HDMI, at least 1080p minimum, and it has a changeable lens and a good range of lenses as well, and that is the Lumix GH3. Now this is the GH3, not the other version. There's two versions of it. One of them does have clean HDMI, the other one doesn't, but I'll tell you the exact one which I got. And this is brilliant. It does fantastic clean video, perfect. But I was still really wanting a Sony camera. I quite like the autofocus on Sony. I like the menu design and things like that. So, and then when looking even further and landed on this. Now, this camera this is a camcorder, but it's an interesting one. It's a camcorder that has DSLR mounts, and it has beautiful clean HDMI out. So it again has all the features I need. It does have an external microphone attached at the top, and this was an absolute bargain. Now I picked this up in for £200, and this camera was released I think in 2011. The Lumix GH3 was about that era as well, but they still create fantastic video. And because this is a camcorder and a DSLR with the Sony E-mounts, you've got massive of lenses that you can do. So what I'm going to do is switch over to screen capture, and I kind of go through some of the cameras that I've bought, the reasons why, and the reasons why this is also another one, the EOS M, and some of the ones that you really want to stay away from. And I think this camera and the Lumix GH3 are the cheapest and best cameras you can buy for YouTube and OBS if you're on a budget. So let's go through that now. So this camera is the Sony NEX VG20. What I will do is at the end of this video is plug it in and just show you the clean feed that comes out of it, because it really is fantastic, and you can have the autofocus and everything turned on while that clean feed is happening, something that you can't with a lot of the DSLRs because of the it's got a name like face hunting. It is trying to constantly hunt an autofocus. So I paid £200. Now this didn't come with a charger, it just came with the battery, so I've had to pay an extra, I think £12 for the plug-in charger, and then another £10 or £8 for the battery charger because they're separate. So let's say it's 220, around 225, around there. That is still a fantastic deal for what you're getting. Then if I go up to here and so that was the charger, which was £10 for the battery charger, and then again another sort of £10 or £12 for the plug-in one. So I bought a few Lumix cameras. This is the one that you're seeing now, which is the Lumix GH3. I also purchased the DMC G6. Now this is the difference between them. If you see Lumix G3, that's not the same as the Lumix GH3. There's a difference in them. And then I also bought a Panasonic Lumix GH2. The only problem with that camera is it only has 720p video. It's very low quality. It does have clean HDMI, but the quality is not the same as the GH3. And then this was a GH3 that I bought, but then realised that there was actually a problem with that camera, so got it refunded. So currently the cheapest, or one of the best you can get, is 169 and 189. And again, I really like this camera. It's just a nice camera with a lot of lenses, a lot of adapters you can use, so I would highly recommend it. And then if we look for the camcorder, in fact I'll just show you the Sony. So the Sony a6000, I paid £365, and that was with a lens. The lens was the kit lens, but again, it wasn't great. Now, for that sort of money, really, you should be expecting a fantastic video, and it just really work. But there is issues with this Sony a6000. The Lumix, I've never had any issues with the clean HDMI, and it's just been flawless, just works straight away. So yeah, nice camera, but a bit of a waste for YouTube. Just wouldn't recommend it. These are some of the lenses that I've actually tried, because at first I thought maybe it's just the lens, maybe it's the lens that is the issue. So I ended up buying this 7-Artisan 27mm lens. It did improve it slightly, but still not great. I then bought another lens thinking that it's got the autofocus, that it would be that. Again, it didn't help. So wasn't a waste of money, because I will use that when I'm filming B-roll, or when I'm doing photo shoots for church, or for weddings and things like that. So it will get used, but again, just not for YouTube videos. And then the Sony NEX20, if I do a search for this, if you see them for this sort of price, you should do them. What I tend to do is add it to my basket, or add it to my watch list, and then I always get a notification saying that the seller's dropped some money, like 20% off. If you leave it a day or so, the amount of times that I get that, if I go to my main page, I'll show you in a minute. In fact, I'll go to that, I'll search for this camera. So you can see there, like, I paid £200 and it's already £400, so that was a really good deal that I got on that camera. But you can find these on other places, so there are some good Sony camcorders that you can find that have the clean HDMI and everything you're looking for. So if I go to my main eBay page and then do new for you, you can see that these are the offers that I've started to receive just by adding it to my watch list or adding it to my basket. Already I'm getting certain offers. Now, a lot of these offers are not something I would take up, because I was simply looking to get a price for something, because I'm selling items as well on eBay, so I was mainly checking other eBay sellers to see what the prices are. So this is the feed that's out of the camera, and you can see all the zoom functions, and there's if I go to this and maybe hold down, see, I've just got it, so I'm still trying to figure out a lot of the details, but you can see there that it does really good bokeh. If I zoom in on something and it blurs the background, and then I'll switch over to this Sony mic and see what this is like. And then this is the microphone from the Sony. It seems that the volume's a bit loud, but that's the microphone that's coming out. So yeah, really good feed. I really like this camera, and this is definitely going to be a nice camera to use in this office. So that's my rundown, and that's my top picks for cameras with clean HDMI. I've done a lot of research into it, and I feel that these two cameras are definitely some of the best and best priced cameras for clean HDMI. And hopefully that recommendation, you can use it and do your own research and then make a conclusion from there.